Do the Buffalo Bills really need DeAndre Hopkins or Odell Beckham? You know, we're talking about bringing in competition to this team. Can we really rely on a guy like Gabe Davis going into 2023 who kind of had a letdown season in 2022? Hey guys, welcome to my channel here, Bills News Consolidated. We're in the Florida Keys hanging out, discussing this wide receiver position group for the Buffalo Bills, and the rumors are swirling that Bills are interested in trading for DeAndre Hopkins. We're interested in signing free agent Odell Beckham. So what is the truth? Is Brandon Beane eyeing this up? And I think they definitely are, but keep in mind, we're going to be waiting for this NFL draft. I really believe, why not wait and see what happens in this first round at 27th overall? Does a player like Jackson Smith-Njigba fall to the Buffalo Bills? Maybe we get a great steal on Tank Dell, maybe in the third round or something like that, if he slips out due to his lack of size. You know, and there's other things hurting JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba. It's his hamstring injury. You know, that could set him back. Teams are definitely looking at him saying, hey, look, is he injury prone? He only had really 1 year of good production. But the reason why I love him so much for the Bills is because he played in top-notch competition. He played against defenses that played a lot of zone coverage, exactly what the Buffalo Bills face because of all of our weapons, such as Stephon Diggs, even Gabe Davis. You know, JSN, he really has played a lot of slot too. He hasn't played on the outside so much. I mean, he can, but he's not a premier slot wide receiver. So personally, I really think JSN could very well fall to 27th overall. I know a lot of people are hyping him up, but the Buffalo Bills may very well go into this NFL draft JSN, and then no longer be interested in DeAndre Hopkins or Odell Beckham. Now, the thing with me is with Odell Beckham, he is coming off that injury, you know, and even Brandon Beane himself said he's going to need a little extra time getting ready. You know, it's easy to go out there and practice and run routes and do these things and show off for potential NFL teams, but it's a little bit different getting jammed at the line of scrimmage, getting, you know, the physical game of football. So he is still going to need a little bit of time. And the other problem is Brandon Beane always seeks value. We always talk about seeking great value, getting a great value for players. He refuses to overspend for players. And knowing that there's other teams interested in Odell Beckham and likely DeAndre Hopkins, you know, it's tough that Brandon Beane is going to find a good value. Now, the other problem is that DeAndre Hopkins, only 1 year left on his contract. Another thing that Brandon Beane always does is he trades for players with multiple years on their contract. Why trade draft picks for a small market team, Buffalo, who needs to build and develop through the draft? Why trade those draft picks for a free agent one-hit wonder that could be a one-hit wonder for the Buffalo Bills, comes in to Buffalo under 1 year and just goes into free agency and gets more money for another franchise? Tight cap space is an issue, and it's going to be an issue next year per Brandon Beane. So we have to start thinking about ways of consolidating, you know, saving some money with the Bills. And I think one way to do that is to start consolidating some wide receivers, right? But we have a lot of figuring out for the 2023 Buffalo Bills, and I really think this is a big year for Gabe Davis. I mean, Gabe Davis breaking Jerry Rice's playoff record for most touchdowns. Gabe Davis usually making the most of his opportunities, his body control on the sidelines, his toe drag swag. I mean, Gabe Davis is an absolute freak of a wide receiver when he's on point. And, you know, maybe it's a combination of Ken Dorsey not scheming things up, not fully having this offense firing on all cylinders. Maybe there are some additional pieces that we could bring in, maybe an additional tight end to Dawson Knox. But, you know, I really think Trent Sherfield, Deontay Hardy, Gabe Davis, Khalil Shakir, these guys are all going to be competing. So it doesn't make sense to bring in DeAndre Hopkins or an Odell Beckham for 1 year here. You know, I always go back to that perfect game that Josh Allen had, and he had that sure, steady Emmanuel Sanders, that veteran, as well as Stephon Diggs. You know, I think Gabe Davis is going to have to step up massively for the Buffalo Bills in 2023. You know, other players I really think the Bills are going to be eyeing up here in this year's NFL draft. You know, we just signed Jordan Phillips. I think that's absolutely huge. Jordan Phillips, when he plays, when he's healthy, he's a dynamite piece. And he was banged up last year playing with literally one arm. His one arm was just loose hanging there. You know, we can't be one player away. We can't be one player away from not being successful. You know, Jordan Phillips hurt, Daquan Jones out versus the Cincinnati Bengals, and they get to run the ball down our throats. So I think having both those guys healthy really shores things up for this NFL draft. I was thinking defensive tackle is still a concern, especially a bigger type defensive tackle to help stop the run. You know, Jordan Phillips is perfect pair mate next to Ed Oliver. They're both fast, too. Jordan Phillips is extremely fast for his size. I really like that Brandon Beane, this 2023 offseason, has literally filled every single hole on this team, and we could basically take best player available, and that includes wide receiver at the 27th overall pick. You know, other wide receivers, I don't know. There's other skill sets and other things, but, you know, JSN, again, going against top-notch competition. He's smart. You listen to his interviews. And then Nathaniel Dell from Houston, went against Sauce Gardner in college. And if you watch the clips, if you watch that game, you could tell Sauce was frazzled. I mean, he got the best of Sauce. And you tell me, you know, the Bills are going to be going against Sauce 2 times every year, right? New York Jets defensive back, Sauce Gardner versus our rookie Tank Dell. Man, I like that. I like that. Start building for the future. Start building for an older Stephon Diggs. Start building for an unknown Gabe Davis. And really, you know, if the Bills end up putting more on the plate of Khalil Shakir, you know, similar to what we did with Gabe Davis, and Gabe Davis was definitely somewhat of a letdown, right, because of his 100% snap count. But I really think Bills are definitely betting on Gabe Davis, but we cannot be one player away from not being successful. If Gabe Davis goes down officially, right, instead of just injuring his ankle early in the season last year, what happens if Gabe Davis was completely out, right, and then losing Jamison Crowder? The Buffalo Bills wide receiver core would have been even worse, a lot worse. So I think Gabe Davis is definitely good, but he definitely needs to prove himself here in 2023. So let me know what you guys think here. If you guys enjoy these sunsets, please hit like, subscribe. I'm going to be trying to release these videos. I am releasing these videos every single day, representing Bills Mafia here in Florida. But NFL draft is getting juicy here, guys. I cannot wait to see what happens. I really think anything could happen. I mean, you could go tackle, wide receiver. You can even go tight end, a surprise tight end at 27th overall, like a Darnell Washington, right? Who knows, Bills Mafia. Absolutely crazy. Appreciate every single one of you. Check you guys soon. Go Bills. Peace.